Today's the day after March 29th, which is Vietnam Veterans Day. And we're having a special ceremony because the great city of Yonkers and the Parks Department, what's the matter, Lou? You can't hear me? Where's your hearing aid? Have erected this monument in the last year, and we're so proud of our city and what they have accomplished in working with the Vietnam vets from the Empire Post and all the Vietnam vets in doing what they've been doing. I get a lot of comments as a former mayor from people from other municipalities and said, boy, Yonkers is great. Our municipality, who I won't name, they don't do anything compared to Yonkers. That's a credit to Mayor Spano and the Yonkers City Council. I just wanted to start off by saying that. Now we'll have the presentation of colors by the Civil Air Patrol. Go ahead, guys.
Yes.
Post. Present arms.
Oh, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fights o'er the ramparts we watched was so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you. That was Lieutenant Colonel Nora Ware doing such a great job on our national anthem. Now for the Pledge of Allegiance, we'll have Master Sergeant Cameron Allen from Civil Air Patrol for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Order. Arms.
For our invocation, we have Father Nick from the Prophet Elias Greek Orthodox Church. Father Nick.
Honor guard. Order. Arms. Ceremonial at peace.
Let us pray. O Lord our God, you call together the universe in your power, and by your divine almighty will you govern the world. You have created from one blood all nations of mankind to inhabit the earth, and you have assigned its boundaries. And you have conferred special places to the United States of America, granting knowledge of your truth. Accept our prayers, O Holy Master, on this wonderful and great day as we bring to memory and celebrate the Vietnam veterans. We ask you, O Lord, as we rejoice in gratitude, to bless our Vietnam veterans here present and everywhere they may be, for their service into our country. Guide them, protect them, and give them strength to endure and continue their life and making, thanking, and glorifying you. We also pray and bring to mind those brethren, Vietnam veterans who died, those who fell in the war, those who were slaughtered, and those who died in captivity in Vietnam. May they dwell in blessedness, repose with righteousness, and rest in peace. May their bones come again to life as green pastures, green grass, so that both the living and those that have fallen asleep may rise up in hymn of thanksgiving and doxology to you, the Almighty King, forever and ever. Amen.
Thank you, Father. Thank you so much. Everybody can sit down now, right? Yeah. All right, I'd like to do some introductions. Thank you to these elected officials and others who have shown up today. Andrea Brown, representing State Senator Andrea Stewart Cousins, is here. Larry Sykes, representing Assemblyman Nader Sage. Thank you. From our great Yonkers City Council, we have the Council President, Mike Cater. Thank you, Mike. Council Member Mike Sabatino. Council Member John Rubo. And Council Member Mike Breen. Oh, I see there's a former mayor here, but I forgot his name. From the Yonkers City Departments, we got a great commissioner in Tony Landy and Deputy Commissioner Steve Sansone. From the Yonkers Board of Ed, we have Stephen Lopez, BCC trustee, and Henry Jamballah from McLean Avenue Merchants. Also, who I considered honored guests are Kathy and Louise Lyons, the sister of my friend John Lyons, who got killed in Vietnam, and he's on the monument in back of it, right there. So those are the introductions, so thank you very much. Now the main introduction, because I held him off because he's going to speak, is the mayor of Yonkers, who makes today possible, made so many other things possible for Vietnam vets in the city of Yonkers, such as Veterans Way over on Yonkers Avenue, this monument, and so many other things that I mentioned earlier as I talked to other officials from around other cities that said, boy, Yonkers does it all for veterans. And the reason is the mayor of the city of Yonkers, who's going to come up and make a few remarks, Mayor Mike Spano.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you, Mayor Spencer. And you know, I always appreciate when he says to me, "You make this happen." But let's not kid ourselves. It's the veterans who make all this happen, and this is when we come together and we recognize and we pay respect and we remember the war in which our veterans were not treated all that well when they came back home. They were not thanked. And we know what you dealt with, and many you have dealt with over the years, and we know that the war wounds don't heal. We know that Very often they're reopened just by the thought of having some of these events. But we all have to remember that our veterans serve with courage, and they serve with selflessness, and they serve their nation because they want to fight for a greater cause than themselves. They want to make sure that the world that they live in, that their families live in, that their children live in, their children beyond that will live in, is a free world. Free where people can express themselves, free where people can celebrate their own religion, free where people can disagree with their government, free where people can be who they want to be without fear of having a government dictator or a tyrant or something else tell them that they somehow can't do that. You know, I look at the names here, and it's especially it's a special day even for me when I think about the fact that just a couple weeks ago, my father joined the ranks of the honored dead here in this wall. And I know he's looking down, and he's probably standing with Johnny Lyons and a bunch of your friends, and he's looking down, and they just remind us, each and every one of us, whether we serve in the city council, we serve the public, or just an individual trying to get by in today's world, that we remember their sacrifices, remember what they did for us, remember that they, especially the honored dead on the wall here, they gave their all so that we could enjoy the finer things that we all enjoy right here in our city of Yonkers, in New York State, in America, in the greatest country in the history of the world. We're not perfect. They know we're not perfect. But that's what we strive for, to be perfect. And we strive to recognize and to remember them with honor, because they didn't have to do what they did. They chose to do that. And they chose a cause bigger than themselves. And I just think we need to remember that there are causes larger than oneself. I'd like to, I also see that the Deputy Westchester County Clerk, Westchester County Executive is here, Ken Jenkins, so and good to see you. I kind of went off my notes, but again, I wanted to be here, spend some time with each and every one of you, say thank you, God bless you, and God bless this wonderful country of America. Whoop.
I just want to add something to what the mayor said when he mentioned his dad, because I was very close to his dad too, and he had quite an influence on me when I was in politics in Yonkers. I always admired Lenny Spano, and always would call him Semper Fi because he was a Marine. And as you mentioned, Mayor, he's looking down now. He's with our brothers up there, and he's got to be so proud of you as mayor of Yonkers and your whole family, and your brother Nick and all his service and everybody else. He's got to be so proud, Mayor. God bless you. Now I'm supposed to introduce the next speaker, the guest speaker. I forgot his name. It's me. Anyway, I won't bore you because I could speak about the 32 guys on this monument in the back of me, and you'd be here until 5 o'clock tonight. I won't do that. But I do want to say that in my 50 years since coming back from Vietnam, I have never seen any subject, the subject of misinformation, as the Vietnam War. And just to clarify that, I mean, there was 2.7 million served in country, while 9 million served in the military during the Vietnam era. Of the 2.7 million that served in country, 2/3 have already passed. So those of us who are still here make up 1/3 of 2.7 million. 58,282 died, got killed in Vietnam, including 8 women. 8 women are on the wall in Washington. 1 out of every 10 American who served in Vietnam was a casualty. Of course, the 58 that died, and 304,000 were wounded. Of the 304,000 that were wounded, by the way, when we read the names in a little while, 2 of the 4 guys were wounded, and there's a couple other guys I see in the audience that were also wounded. But of the 304,000, 75,000 were severely wounded. And the ratio from other wars, as far as the KIA, was about the same. But with the casualties far exceeded other wars and the survivors. And that's because of helicopters, quick evacuation, same thing in Iraq and Afghanistan right now. A lot of guys are coming back, and women, missing arms and legs. In World War II or Korea, they would have died on the battlefield. So that's what we're dealing with. Now our cause, by the way, the Vietnam War goes from 1955 to 1975. That's 20 years. Our cause was honorable. Honorable. The United States is an honorable, do-good country trying to help others gain freedom and liberty, just like we have. So right after Korea, 1955, there was that threat. You know, the Korean threat, North Korea, South Korea, the Soviet Union, communism, Cuba, all of that. So we embarked on a mission. The United States did, an honorable mission, to grant liberty and freedom to others. For those who served in country, I saw it up close in person when I saw the little children, the little Vietnamese children. We'd go into certain areas and into hooches. You wouldn't see any men, you'd see women and children. And they're the cutest things in the world, these little children. So you think to yourself as a soldier, you know what we're doing? We're going to grant these people freedom, not under communist rule. And that's what we were doing. Another misinformation about losing the war in Vietnam. The military never lost a battle, any battle. We never lost. Khe Sanh, Tet Offensive. The ratio of casualties, as bad as ours were 10 times worse for them. So the military, the Army, the Navy, the Marines, the Air Force, all of us never lost a battle. So for 50 years, I had to listen about how we lost the war. I won't use the word bull, the other word, but that's what it was, bull, burp. And the fact is, countries win wars or lose them, and our country lost it. Because after we came home, our country said, we give up. We're not going to help them anymore. The Paris peace talks were a joke. The North Vietnamese knew it. They got dragged to the table because Ho Chi Minh admitted, we can never beat the American military. Ho Chi Minh said it, and he went to the peace table, and he made a deal. All right, we'll leave South Vietnam alone, you guys leave. We said, all right, as long as you leave them alone, we'll leave. And we left. North Vietnam said, all right, they're gone, let's go in. And then what did we do? Gerald Ford went to a special legislative session, unprecedented. He had the House and the Senate, and begged that we don't send troops, but we at least send supplies to the South Vietnam so they can help themselves. And what did Congress do? No. Nope. We stabbed them in the back. I just wanted to say that. Now, this monument here today, and all the monuments around the country, as the United States yesterday and today is doing what we're doing, I can't help but think of a number of guys on this monument right next to me. Of course, Joey Armento. You know, Kathy and Louise, we grew up with Joey Armento. Obviously, Johnny Lyons, always mentioned. Vinny's friend, Kenny Kardash. If you drive around Yonkers, out near the Pier Park, you'll see Kardash Park. That's after Kenny Kardash. He got killed in Vietnam. And then Giuliani, Richie Giuliani, up in Park Hill. You'll see a plaque up on Park Hill for Richie Giuliani. He was a Marine. And then we got Frank Marconi. I mentioned Frank because his cousin is with us today, Butch, Perry Marciani. Frank Marcani. He was 19 years old. And so what are the other guys? 21, 20, 20, 21. So I mentioned them. That's what this monument, and of course, the other 28, 27 names are very similar, very age, every branch of service, Army, Marines, Air Force, and Navy. So our cause is honorable. We never lost a military battle. Our men are heroes, all the men. And I just want to mention one final thing, and then I'll be quiet. Agent Orange. Talk about misinformation. Years ago, I was working down Manhattan, and some guy saw something I had on. He said, "Oh, you're a Vietnam vet." I go, "Yeah." He goes, "Who was this Agent Orange?" I said, "Who was?" The guy thought it was an agent, you know, like James Bond or something. I go, "Agent Orange?" I swear to God. I go, "Agent Orange is a chemical. It's a herbicide that the United States." He goes, "Oh." I go, "What do you think it was?" Because I thought it was like an enemy agent that killed a lot of people. I said, "No, Jesus, Mary, pardon my language." So there's a silly example of the misinformation about the Vietnam War. And it's driven me crazy for 50 years. People would say the stupidest things, how we lost the war, we never lost, and here we are. But now, today, enough of my rambling, but we're here to honor those who served and those who gave the ultimate sacrifice. And that's what we're doing here. And I thank everybody for listening to me. And now we're going to do the reading of the names. The first reading will be from our commander of the Empire Post, Joe Porcelli. Joe?
Thanks, John. Arthur C. Elkwasher, Joseph Armento, Francis M. Boyle, Lester Bracey, Donald Burke, James Bonatuno, James F. Burke Jr., and Peter B. Bushy. Rest in peace.
The next reading is by Peter Carilla. Peter?
Thank you, Mr. Spencer. I'd just like to thank everybody for coming here today, especially Sergeant Major Navarro, who picked me, and it's a great pleasure to be here. My first time reader, a little nervous, so you have to forgive me. But when a Sergeant Major asks a lonely buck sergeant a request, I appreciate it. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. I continue. Private First Class Robert F. Gary Jr. Lance Corporal Richard A. Graneri. Private First Class Richard A. Henrich. Sergeant Louis A. N. Ilero Cadillo. Private First Class Wayne M. Horn. Sergeant First Class Leon J. Jackson. Sergeant Keith M. Kardash. PFC George Letham. May they rest in peace. And also My classmate from 1966 is on the wall, Keith Duffy. He was killed in Vietnam November 1st, 1968, his 50th anniversary. And he was a great guy, and he was just in country actually about 2.5 months. But the reason I'm saying it, he was like the old story here. He was actually born on the 4th of July, and his mother used to be very good with the 375 post and everything else, though. But it's a pleasure and it's a great honor for me, to be here today with all you people. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Peter. And you're correct. Keith Duffy's mother was Beatrice Duffy, and she never missed a Veterans Day, Memorial Day, days like today. Thank you, Peter.
You're welcome.
Our next reader is Nick Junta from the Empire Post.
Good morning. Sergeant John L. Lyons. Spec 4 Frank J. Marconi. Spec 4 Peter J. Mitchell. Major James S. Pitches. Captain Martin D. Wiley. Spec 4 Alan L. Smith. Lance Corporal John R. Turner. And Sergeant Franz X. Warner.
Thank you, Nikki. Our next reader is James Lasser. James?
Petty Officer Thomas O. Clark. Corporal Lee W. Claw. PFC Carlos A.M. De La Hoya. Spec 5 Jeffrey B. Dodge. Corporal William B. Dorsey. Petty Officer 3rd Keith W. Duffy. Major Robert M. Fitzgerald. Sergeant David H. Gamboya. May they rest in peace.
Thank you, Jim. Before we retire to colors, Louis asked me to announce, to thank Commander Joe Porcelli and all the members of the Empire Post for donating that beautiful sign over there. Thank you, Empire Post. Okay, we can retire to colors.
Honor guard. Attend. Huh. Right shoulder, arms. Right haste. Forward, march.
Oh, before I close, I was looking out and I saw Eleanor Nader. Eleanor's here with us. The wife of Joe Nader, who led the Central Committee for about 1 million years. God bless you, Eleanor, and thanks for being here. And again, thank you to everybody on a special day for Vietnam vets, and especially those who gave the ultimate sacrifice. Thank you very much. God bless all. Thank you. That's a sophisticated gadget.
Yeah, it's an iPhone with a handheld.
Nah.
Look at, but this one even has fur on it. How you doing, Ben? Good.
Yeah.
No, great. You got it. Always good.
There's some prop back there.
Louis, why you didn't speak today?
Huh? I'm not feeling well.
You all right?
That's Louis Navarro. He normally speaks, but today Mr. Navarro wasn't feeling well,
I
so
had 2 events tonight, and I'm not going.
he didn't speak.
Stay hydrated.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much for doing what you're doing.
So Yonkers Voice at the event ceremony honoring vets who lost their lives, making the ultimate sacrifice. Those who gave their lives for us, for our liberties, for the things that we enjoy today. Someone died, somebody fought for that. It didn't came easy, it didn't just pop up. So honor our vets, respect them, and say thank you for all that they did.
It was almost the same thing like they have in Arizona. You know, they had a couple of.